This video is for informational and educational purposes only. All information presented is based on publicly available sources, including news reports and public records. The individuals mentioned are referenced solely in the context of reporting factual events. Any images or video clips used are stock footage and are intended for illustrative purposes only. The people shown in this video have no connection to the actual events or individuals discussed. No harm, defamation, or misrepresentation is intended. Viewer discretion is advised due to sensitive and potentially disturbing content. It is not suitable for all audiences. The Vallow Daybell case is a haunting narrative of love gone wrong, twisted beliefs, and the ultimate tragedy of family loss. Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell, once a seemingly ordinary couple, became entangled in a web of religious extremism and dark intentions that led to multiple murders. They belonged to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but their beliefs had strayed far from mainstream Mormonism. Chad, an apocalyptic author and publisher, and Lori, who became convinced of her divine mission, formed what journalists describe as a Doomsday cult. Their story began in earnest with the disappearance of Lori's daughter, Tylee Ryan, and her younger adopted son, Joshua Jackson J.J. Vallow, in September 2019. The ensuing investigation revealed a series of murders and a deeply disturbing belief system that justified their heinous actions. Chad Guy Daybell was born on August 11, 1968 in Provo, Utah, into a devout Mormon family. He pursued a degree in journalism from Brigham Young University and married Tamara Tammy Douglas in 1990. With whom he had 5 children. Chad's career was a blend of traditional roles and creative pursuits. He worked as a copy editor for the Standard Examiner in Ogden, and later as a gravedigger and cemetery sexton, roles that likely influenced his macabre interests. In 1999, Chad published his first religion-themed novel, An Errand for Emma, followed by several others that delved into apocalyptic themes and supernatural beliefs. By the mid-2000s, financial struggles led him to focus more intensely on his writing and publishing endeavors. Chad founded Spring Creek Book Company, using it to publish his own apocalyptic visions and those of other fringe authors. His novels often depicted dystopian futures and characters with supernatural abilities, reflecting his deepening obsession with end-times prophecies. By the end of the 2010s, Chad's beliefs had become increasingly extreme. He began to claim visions and past lives, prophesying the world's end in July 2020, and positioning himself as a spiritual leader among a small but fervent group of followers. Lori Noreen Cox, later known as Lori Vallow Daybell, was born on June 26, 1973, in Loma Linda, California. Raised in a Mormon family, Lori experienced a tumultuous personal life marked by multiple marriages and custody battles. At 19, Lori married her high school boyfriend, but the marriage was short-lived, ending in divorce shortly after. She remarried in 1995, had a son named Colby in 1996, and divorced again in 1998. Throughout these years, Lori worked as a hairdresser and even participated in a beauty pageant in 2004. In 2001, Lori married Joseph Anthony Ryan Jr., who adopted her biological son, Colby. Their relationship was fraught with conflict, leading to a bitter custody battle where Lori accused Joseph of sexually assaulting their children. In 2018, Joseph Ryan died from arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease, a death that would later come under scrutiny, as investigators uncovered disturbing connections to Lori's actions. Lori's life took a dark turn when she met Chad Daybell through shared extremist religious interests. Together, they delved deeper into apocalyptic beliefs, ultimately forming a tightly knit group that would spiral into murder and tragedy. Around 2015, Lori became increasingly interested in Chad Daybell's apocalyptic teachings. Chad's Standing in Holy Places series attracted followers who shared his fear of an imminent end of the world. In October 2018, Lori attended a Preparing a People event, where she met Chad for the first time. Their immediate connection, fueled by shared extremist beliefs, led to a deepening relationship and eventual marriage in November 2019, just weeks after the death of Chad's first wife, Tammy. Chad and Lori's relationship was marked by manipulation and control, with Lori becoming convinced that she was a deity destined to play a crucial role in the coming apocalypse. Their religious group, known as the Church of the Firstborn, attracted a small following who believed in their prophetic visions and end-times prophecies. The group practiced extreme beliefs, including reincarnation, possession by evil spirits, and the necessity of eliminating perceived obstacles through violence. They employed a scoring system to classify individuals as light or dark, deeming dark individuals as possessed and requiring removal. Chad's apocalyptic predictions, such as the world ending in July 2020, kept the group's members in a state of constant fear and preparation, further isolating them from mainstream society. The dark path of the Vallow Daybell case began in February 2019, when Lori informed her husband, Charles Vallow, that she no longer cared for him or their adopted son, Joshua Jackson J.J. Vallow. Amidst escalating tensions, Lori and Chad's extremist beliefs took a deadly turn. On July 11, 2019, Charles confronted Lori about her affair with Chad. An altercation ensued, during which Lori's brother, Alex Cox, shot and killed Charles, claiming self-defense after being struck with a bat. Neighbors heard a pool party with loud music that night, adding to the confusion and chaos surrounding the events. Following Charles's death, Chad and Lori married in Hawaii on November 5, 2019, solidifying their union and further entwining their dark beliefs. This marriage occurred 2 weeks after Tammy Daybell's suspicious death, initially ruled as natural causes, but later revealed to be asphyxiation. In September 2019, Lori and Chad moved to Rexburg, Idaho, where they continued to propagate their extremist beliefs. Their home became the epicenter of their cult-like activities, with members practicing castings to banish evil spirits and preparing for the prophesied end times. The couple's twisted beliefs justified their heinous actions, as they sought to eliminate anyone who stood in the way of their apocalyptic mission. The true horror unfolded in September 2019, when Lori's daughter Tylee Ryan and her younger adopted son J.J. Vallow disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Tylee was last seen on September 8, 2019, at Yellowstone National Park, while J.J. was last seen on September 22, 2019, in Rexburg, Idaho. Despite their families' attempts to locate them, both children vanished without a trace, sparking widespread concern and media attention. On September 23, J.J. had an unexcused absence from school, and the next day, Lori informed Rexburg Elementary School that she would be homeschooling him. Days later, it became evident that Tylee was also missing, intensifying the investigation and drawing national scrutiny. Witnesses reported seeing Lori and Chad acting suspiciously, including aggressive behavior and attempts to conceal their actions. Chad's sudden departure from their Idaho home in late November, just after police questioned Lori about J.J. quote, "S whereabouts," raised immediate red flags. As authorities delved deeper, connections emerged between the children's disappearances and the suspicious deaths of Lori and Chad's respective spouses, as well as the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreau, Lori's niece's husband. The investigation into the disappearances of Tylee and J.J. rapidly evolved into a complex case involving multiple murders and a widespread manhunt. On September 19, 2020, police discovered the remains of Tylee and J.J. in Rexburg, Idaho, buried on Chad's property. An autopsy revealed Tylee had been asphyxiated and showed signs of dismemberment, while J.J. had been strangled and his body carefully concealed. Chad Daybell was arrested for the destruction and concealment of evidence, initially facing charges related to his use of Tylee's debit card after her disappearance. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that Chad and Lori were involved in a series of coordinated murders aimed at eliminating obstacles to their apocalyptic beliefs and personal gains. The discovery of Tammy Daybell's body, initially ruled as natural causes, was exhumed and found to have been asphyxiated, further implicating Chad and Lori in a pattern of violence. Evidence such as text messages, witness testimonies, and forensic findings painted a grim picture of a couple driven by extremist ideologies and personal vendettas, using religion as a guise for their crimes. As the investigation deepened, the search for Chad Daybell intensified. Authorities scoured the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park in Florida, a challenging area complicated by recent flooding and dense terrain. On October 20, 2020, Chad's skeletal remains were found in the park, confirming his death from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Alongside his remains, a notebook was discovered in which Chad confessed to killing Tylee and J.J., cementing his culpability in the tragic events. The discovery of Chad's remains marked the end of a relentless manhunt, but left many questions about the extent of Lori's involvement and her other pending charges. With Chad's death, the focus shifted entirely to Lori, who remained at large to face charges for her role in the murders. The FBI closed their investigation, stating that no other individuals were directly involved in the deaths of Tylee and J.J., but the legal battles were far from over. The legal proceedings against Lori Vallow Daybell unfolded in a series of high-profile trials that captivated the nation. In May 2021, Lori and the now-deceased Chad were indicted on charges of first-degree murder for the deaths of Tylee, J.J., and Tammy, as well as grand theft related to the children's Social Security benefits and Tammy's life insurance. Lori's trial in Idaho was a gripping affair. In May 2023, she was found guilty on all charges related to the murders of Tylee, J.J., and Tammy. The jury concluded that Lori had orchestrated the killings to remove obstacles to her apocalyptic mission and to secure financial benefits. On July 31, 2023, Lori was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, marking a significant legal victory for the victims' families and law enforcement. Chad Daybell, though deceased, had been tried separately. In May 2024, he was posthumously found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy in the deaths of Tammy, Tylee, and J.J. On June 1, 2024, Chad was sentenced to death, though he had already taken his own life before sentencing. Lori Vallow Daybell's legal battles extended beyond the initial charges. In February 2020, she was arrested for desertion and non-support of her children, but these charges were later dropped in favor of more severe murder charges. In addition to the Idaho trials, Lori faced charges in Arizona for the conspiracy to commit murder of Charles Vallow, her ex-husband, and the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux, Lori's niece's husband. These trials highlighted the broader scope of her and Chad's criminal activities, driven by their extremist beliefs. In November 2023, Lori was extradited to Arizona to face these additional charges. Her trial is scheduled to begin on March 31st, 2025, focusing on the murders of Charles Vallow and the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. Throughout these legal proceedings, Lori chose to represent herself, a decision met with skepticism by many legal experts who questioned her mental state and ability to effectively defend herself against the overwhelming evidence. The Vallow-Daybell case left an indelible mark on the community and the nation, raising profound questions about mental health, religious extremism, and the power of manipulation. Families of the victims, including Larry and Kay Woodcock, Melanie Boudreaux, and Tammy Daybell's family, sought justice and closure through the legal system. Their unwavering pursuit of truth highlighted the devastating impact of the crimes and the resilience of those left behind. The case also sparked broader discussions about missing white woman syndrome, as media attention disproportionately focused on Lori and Chad compared to other missing persons cases, particularly those involving marginalized communities. Advocacy groups emerged from the tragedy, emphasizing the need for better support systems for vulnerable individuals and more rigorous oversight of extremist groups. The Gabby Petito case, for instance, drew parallels in media focus and public outcry, underscoring systemic issues in how society handles missing persons and domestic violence. Through the establishment of foundations and ongoing advocacy, the legacy of the Vallow-Daybell case continues to influence efforts to prevent similar tragedies, ensuring that the victims' stories drive meaningful change. The harrowing tale of Lori and Chad Vallow-Daybell serves as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by extremist ideologies and unchecked manipulation. Mental health awareness. Recognizing and addressing mental health issues can prevent individuals from being vulnerable to manipulative influences. Society must prioritize accessible mental health care and early intervention to identify and support those in distress. Religious extremism. Vigilance. Understanding the signs of extremist beliefs and behaviors can help communities intervene before they escalate into violence. Education and awareness campaigns are crucial in identifying and countering harmful ideologies. Supporting victims of domestic violence. Providing robust support systems for victims of domestic abuse ensures they have the resources needed to escape harmful relationships and rebuild their lives. Media responsibility. Balanced media coverage of missing persons cases regardless of race, gender, or socioeconomic status ensures that all victims receive the attention they deserve and prevents the neglect of marginalized groups. As we reflect on the Vallow-Daybell case, let it inspire us to be vigilant, compassionate, and proactive in safeguarding our communities. By addressing mental health, combating extremism, and supporting victims, we can honor the memories of those lost and prevent future tragedies. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Vallow-Daybell Doomsday murders. This case is a somber reminder of the depths of human manipulation and the importance of community vigilance. May the memories of Tylee Ryan, J.J. Vallow, and Tammy Daybell live on, inspiring us to seek justice and support for those in need. Their stories are a call to action, to look out for one another and to ensure that no more lives are lost to such darkness. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, extremist influence, or mental health challenges, reach out to a trusted authority or helpline. Help is available, and your voice can make a difference.